Hello and welcome to this varsity basketball matchup. I'm Edison Palumbi alongside Hill Butler, and the Saints just about ready to get their season underway. They had a scrimmage last week, but the real thing starts now as they welcome St. Michael's to Scott Gym.
Yep, Saints looking at a very different starting lineup from last year. Had a couple of key players graduate, dealing with a couple of injuries on that squad too. So definitely going to be exciting to see what this new lineup can do.
3 of their 5 starters from last year are not available. 2 of those in Brandon Jennings and Kellen Welch due to graduation, and one of them, Sonny Bridges, due to injury. So the Saints lose the opening tip. It'll be Amari Robinson controlling it first.
Yeah, and Welch and Jennings both playing Division I now.
These two teams matched up in football recently, with the #1 seeded St. Michael taking an 18-6 win as JT Harmon lays it in to start off this game. In their scrimmage last week, the Saints had some offensive struggles where they just weren't able to get into the flow of their offense quickly and didn't get up shots in time. They had a couple of shot clock violations early in the game, but some good offense there as it ends with Darius Gray laying one in off an assist from Stuart Cosby.
Yeah, not much you can do there with such a massive size difference with Darius Gray in the inside there.
As there's Amir Savage getting by Wally Jones. Now here's Elijah Brandon running the show for this Saints offense. They're going to need him to take on a much bigger role offensively this year, as here's Stuart Cosby, and he knocks down a 3. He had some massive nights from behind the arc last season, most notably against John Marshall when he hit 5 threes in that big win. And then later that season, he tied the school record for single game 3-pointers with 8. But now Darius Gray with the steal. He'll try to go coast to coast, throws one up off the glass, no good. And now St. Michael is going to look to run the other way. And Savage lays it in through some contact.
And Cosby tried to swat that away, but it's just couldn't get high enough with his hand.
Now here's Darius Gray. Elijah Brandon in the corner, gets it into Gray. He'll back in, and he loses it, but it'll stay with the Saints. 12 on the shot clock.
Now Stuart Cosby gonna pass it in for the Saints.
Cosby gets to Elijah Brandon from well behind the arc. No good. Rebound by Savage. Amir Savage going coast to coast. A bit of a wild shot. Expected some contact. None came. Brady Burnett hands it off to Wally Jones. Thought about a 3. Passes out of it. Cosby will take one, and in and out.
Yo, almost got that in. Would have been great for the Saints, but unfortunately just bounced out. It'd be a little frustrating to see it get that close and not work out.
For a moment, it looked like Cosby was about to start the game with 2 straight 3s, as Darius Gray will pick up a foul there, as Odita Golu will go to the line.
Yep, bit of a disadvantage when you're that big. Sometimes more skilled players can take advantage of that and draw fouls on you more easily.
And the free throw is no good. And Agolu goes 1 for 2 at the line. So 7-5 St. Michael advantage early. Here's Stuart Cosby, gets it in for Darius Gray. He'll go to work, trying to find some room, throws it up off the glass. Looked like it might have been tipped on the way up.
Yeah, it was a pretty good pass there. Unfortunately, just couldn't end with some points on the board.
And Amir Savage tried to get by Wally Jones, but in the process, didn't dribble quick enough. He'll be called for a walk.
Yep, not something you'll see called a ton in the big leagues, but high school level, refs can be very strict about that.
There's Brandon. Now Gray at the top of the key. They'll reset it to Elijah Brandon. 14 on the shot clock. He'll drive to his left. Out to the corner for Cosby. Thought about putting up a three. Now it's Wally Jones. Shot clock winding down. Gets inside. Has it stripped. And it is off the Warriors. So the Saints will have 3 to shoot here.
Misses. Stuart Cosby again to pass it in for the Saints.
Cosby, the inbounder, gets it out to Gray, hands it off to Cosby. His three, no good. And outlet pass. Found Harmon, but he couldn't control it.
Yeah, looked out a little bit there. Looked like he had a fast break. And
they're going to get Elijah Brandon for a double dribble. That was a very impressive outlet pass from Desmond Ainsworth.
Yeah, unfortunately, just teammate couldn't hold on to it. Would have been perhaps an easy 2 if he did and kept his momentum. But they will end up with the ball.
The brothers, Gavin Johnson and Colin Johnson, will check in as Wally Jones and Darius Gray will take a rest. Here's Savage. Tries to get around Johnson, blocked by Stuart Cosby. Ainsworth gets it back. Burnett rips it away, and he'll come up with it, weaving through defenders. He's going to draw a foul. Nice defense from the Saints. First with the block from Cosby, then the steal from Burnett, which really was a team effort as 3 Saints defenders were swarming Desmond Ainsworth.
Yeah, maybe a bit of an attempt from St. Miles to play hero ball for a little bit. Might have been better to just get the pass off.
Here's Elijah Brandon. Had a look from the baseline, but he'll reset things to the top of the key. They'll run a similar look to what they just ran. Now, Saints down to 8 on the shot clock. Brandon pulls back a 3, no good. Colin Johnson, the offensive rebound. His shot blocked by Harmon. Johnson tries to save it, but he can't. And now St. Michael's gonna run. Savage pulls up and sinks the shot over Brandon.
Maybe again gonna hold it outside the 3.
Here's Colin Johnson, shot clock down to 10. Now Stuart Cosby, he'll hand it off to Burnett. Saints need to get one up, clock down to 3. And the pass stolen by Agolu, and he will try to throw it down, miss the dunk. They'll try to get back into him, pass tipped by Cosby, but Savage retains it. Harmon for 3, but it's waved off.
Yeah, probably better to just put in a layup at that point. If you're not 100% confident you can make that dunk.
So it's going to be a sideline inbound for St. Michael.
Yeah, I think there might have been some issues with the shot clock there is what I heard.
So now the shot clock down to 11. Here's Desmond Ainsworth going to work on Gavin Johnson. Now Agolu clock down to 5, runs into a double team, and he traveled. Great defense once again from Brady Burnett.
Yep, only sophomore on this team. Everyone else, I believe, is an upperclassman.
And now Gray going to work, goes up strong. He'll go to the line as he does so much. Gray can't sink the first as it clangs off the back iron. So the coaches and the refs confer it's going to be a technical foul against St. Michael for giving the Saints an incorrect roster to fill out the books with.
It's not one I've seen before there.
And these are the free throws for the shooting foul that Darius Gray is taking. Darius would not be the one the Saints would put at the line for a technical. That would be Elijah Brandon, who he missed as well. So the Saints 0 for 3 at the line to start this game off.
Yeah, free throws were a struggle last year, too.
And 0 for 4 now, as Gray and Brandon both miss a pair. So the Saints will get the ball back as a result of the technical. Now here's Colin Johnson, gets it in for Darius Gray, kicks it back out to Brandon. He'll put up a three, rims out. So the Saints unable to capitalize off the mental error by the St. Michael coaches.
Yeah, that's a very rare opportunity, to say the least, that you'll be gifted something like that because of a coach's mistake. Fortunately, not able to capitalize.
As Savage there cannot hit the three. Now it's Brady Burnett, and that's going to be kicked by Jaden Stewart. Now Michael Farley Jr. will come in for Elijah Brandon. Farley was very disruptive on defense in the scrimmage last week. He's deflecting a lot of passes, getting in those passing lanes, coming up with steals. Exactly what the Saints want, as Gavin Johnson nearly has it knocked away by Amari Robinson, but it's recovered by Burnett. Burnett will go to work, and he will be fouled.
Yeah, put a lot of defenders on there on Brady Burnett, who was trying to drive into the paint for a layup. And that'll give him some free throws.
Now Harrison Miller comes in for Gavin Johnson, and Stuart Cosby comes on for somebody. Saints aren't exactly sure who, and it's Colin Johnson. The Saints inbound to 20 on the shot clock. Gray finds Burnett in the corner, puts up a three, quick release, no good. And the rebound by Desmond Ainsworth.
Saints putting up a lot that go in and out, just not shooting very well, I suppose, but a lot of really close shots.
As that shot from Amari Robinson didn't bounce in. That's a nice pass from Gray to find Harrison Miller open in the corner. He gets it to Cosby, who gets it to Burnett, gets in the lane, can't finish the layup. He thought there was some contact. Jaden Stewart, he'll try a three. No good, rebound by Gray. Clock down under a minute. Now Stuart Cosby backing in, spinning, and 2 free throws coming up. Saints have not been great from the line this game, as we saw earlier. Missed their first 4.
Stuart Cosby, though, a little more known for his shooting than Evie or Darius.
And the free throw struggles continue. Saints have now missed 5 in a row, as Cosby can't hit the first. And 0 for 6 on the night now for the Saints as Cosby misses a pair. Now here's Ainsworth.
Fancy footwork there.
Kicks it out to the wing. 3-pointer, no good from Latif Jean-Philippe, but the offensive rebound. And Jaden Stewart, excuse me, no. Adita Agolu will go to the line.
Been a little too physical there on defense. Saints, though, done well on defense so far. Under 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Only let up 9 points. Still not leading, though.
Agolu went 1 for 2 at the line on his last trip. He sinks the first. Now Charlie Suskind and Elijah Brandon check in. And Darius Gray. As Burnett, Michael Farley Jr., and Gavin Johnson will come out. So Agolu goes 1 for 2 at the line once again. Now Brandon up ahead for Cosby. Quick release on the 3. Left it short with the offensive rebound by Harrison Miller. 10-second differential between the shot and game clocks. Here's Miller. Now Gray at the top of the key. Saints need to get a shot up. Shot clock down to 5. Brandon's gonna have to hoist. Gets inside, tries to pass it off. And a jump ball. Possession arrow. Possession arrow should be with the Saints. And it will be.
Comes Darius Gray as the inbounder.
Saints only have 1 second on the shot clock. Now Cosby can't control it, and a shot clock violation.
Yeah, St. Michael's defense just played really well there, just not allowing them to get a shot off, get a good look on the basket. And Saints are going to suffer from that.
Yeah, the Saints scored in their first 2 possessions. As
Stuart Cosby with all those 5 points. Has at least 3, I believe, from a 3-pointer. And they have not scored since, which has definitely been a problem. I mean, first quarter's almost over. They've got 5 points. Defense is doing well, but offensively just haven't been able to get anything going.
trying to get the clock figured out. It was intended to be at 9.5, but then ran down to 7.7. Was first adjusted to 9 minutes and 50 seconds. Now 95 seconds, and now it is at 9.5 seconds.
I imagine St. Michael's just going to try and get a quick catch and shoot here at some point. Maybe bleed off a couple of seconds and try for fast points, which they do here.
And they're not going to get that as it's stolen by Colin Johnson. Clock down to 1. The Saints will not get off a shot. They had a 2-on-2 fast break, but couldn't come up with anything. The offense struggles in the first, but the defense definitely has come out to play. Low scoring first, 10-5 going into the second quarter. Welcome back to the second quarter. Just like that football game a couple weeks ago, not much offense between these two teams. One of the top stories for the Saints, and definitely not a good one from that first quarter. 0 for 6 at the free throw line. Right now, that's the difference in this game, as they're down 5 points. They've missed 6 at the charity stripe.
And 4 of those free throws are from an administrative technical foul after some confusion with the roster. So, I mean, in gifted opportunities like that, you really got to take advantage of them. But Saints just missing a ton of shots here, and they only have 5 points.
There's Desmond Ainsworth. Adita Golu shot blocked by Gray. Snatched it out of the air, passes it up ahead. Burnett spins, goes up, lays it in. Finally, the Saints have that lid off the basket. They scored on their first 2 possessions, hadn't since, but Brady Burnett breaks that cold spell with a nice layup there.
And that's just, I mean, a great play all around. Great block, great getting the ball from Darius, and great pass, great spin move.
Good shot contest by Cosby, but better shot making from Desmond Ainsworth. Now Cosby was left alone there. I don't think he was expecting to be that open, as he didn't take the shot. Jaden Stewart gets by Gray, pulls up, and sinks the mid-range.
You have full Gray the pump fake there, and once you get that open, all you can really do is take the shot.
So Elijah Brandon gets it in for Darius Gray. He'll back in. Gray goes up, lays it in. A lot of contact there.
Darius Gray just using his size to box him out and drive to the basket. No need to overcomplicate things.
And that's a walk. Second time we've seen Amir Savage be whistled for one of those tonight. It appears we might have another error in the books.
Been a lot of confusion here between the coaches and the refs.
So St. Michael may be lucky to avoid a second administrative technical foul this game, as they had another error in the roster provided to St. Christopher's, but luckily for them, they do avoid it, as now Darius Gray will go to work, kicks it out to Burnett, hoists up a 3, no good. And now here's JT Harmon, 2-on-1 fast break, went for the alley-oop to Isaiah Savage, couldn't control it, maybe not the best decision there, as they would have had an easy basket. Now Elijah Brandon on the other end, he is shellacked on the follow-through of that shot. And they're gonna give him a flopping warning.
I'm not so sure about that call.
I didn't have the best view, but I'm not sure that was a flop.
Yeah, that looked like a lot of contact to me. If I'm the ref, I'm definitely not calling that a
I'll
Elijah
go back
Brandon.
and look at it. And now Burnett tries another 3. Quick release, gets it to fall.
Saints within 2 here. A lot more scoring going on in the second half, to say the least. Sorry, second quarter.
Now here's Savage. Savage leans in. They're going to whistle Brady Burnett for a foul. Now 2 free throws upcoming for Amir Savage. He hits the first. I went back and watched that shot from Elijah Brandon that earned him a flopping warning, and credit to the referees. That was actually a very good call.
That looked like contact to me, but guess I must have been wrong there.
No, upon watching it back, definitely was not any contact.
They've always got to check back.
I mean, it means he did a pretty good job of selling the flop, but the ref saw it.
Apparently not good enough, yeah.
Yeah, so Amir Savage goes 2 for 2 at the line, 16-12. Your score, 5:19 left in the second quarter. So welcome back out of the timeout. Saints down 4.
Second half, the Saints been going a lot more on offense. Although the Warriors have a little bit too.
The Warriors moving into a more aggressive defense. Not going to work on that possession. Great ball movement from the Saints. It leads to maybe the easiest points Darius Gray's going to find all season.
Yeah, it's great passing from the Saints. Great job just to find the open guy there.
Here's Isaiah Savage. He'll isolate on Colin Johnson. Slips, falls. Wally Jones takes it away. Goes up strong. And he is going to have 2 well-earned free throws as Joshua Jackson came flying in.
Yeah, just desperate to stop the shot there, but not going to work out for him if he can make these free throws. So far, the Saints have really struggled with that.
They are 0 for 6 at the line. And to make that 0 for 7.
Missing this many free throws can cost you a game. Saints are really going to have to clean up on that.
Oh for 8. The struggles at the line continue for St. Christopher's. As Jackson falls down, stolen away by Colin Johnson. Elijah Brandon on the break. He goes down, and he loses it. So now St. Michael has a chance to run. Here's Jackson falling away off the glass, no good. Johnson has it stripped by Savage. And Cosby throws it away.
You're looking for Brandon on there, just overthrows it. Couldn't reach up high enough to get that one.
You know, this is a pretty confusing game to call. A set of brothers for the Saints, and Gavin and Colin Johnson, and I would assume a set of brothers for St. Michael and Isaiah and Amir Savage. Not too often you see this many brothers on the same court, but we will take a break now. 16-14 left. Excuse me, 16-14, half of the second quarter left to go. So welcome back out of the timeout. St. Michael will have it. 4:11 left to go in this second quarter. JT Harmon, and now Amir Savage over to Desmond Ainsworth from well beyond the arc, left it short, and a fight for the rebound taken by Colin Johnson. Now Elijah Brandon had Stuart Cosby wide open in the corner, didn't see him. Now Darius Gray has a size advantage over Jaden Stewart. He'll go inside and he'll lay it in. Not much Stewart could have done there.
No, Darius Gray just didn't see anybody open for the pass, decided to take matters into his own hands. Three guys in the paint, didn't matter.
Stewart listed at just 5'7", didn't stand much of a chance at stopping Darius Gray from going downhill. Now here's Elijah Brandon, the Saints, looking for their first lead since 2-0. Colin Johnson pulls up, gets it to fall, and they will do just that.
Saints have the lead for the first time in the game since early in the first.
They've outscored them 13-6 this quarter. And that pass stolen by Harrison Miller. Elijah Brandon floats it up, no good. Miller trying to fight for the offensive rebound, but couldn't control it, taken by Ainsworth. Savage goes at Gray, missed the layup. Gray wanted to avoid a foul, looked to just concede the shot, but couldn't get it to fall. Now Colin Johnson sinks the three, but it'll be waved off for a blocking foul, I believe. No, they're gonna call it an offensive foul.
Refs have not been shy this game.
That's a big swing there, as if that was called a blocking foul, since I believe Johnson had already gotten the shot up, then Gray would have been going to the line for 2 shots. So a 5-point swing there, as now Ainsworth sinks a 3.
Saints lose the lead.
Here's Burnett. Now Stuart Cosby, right back to Burnett. Johnson, pass nearly stolen as he tried to get it to Miller. Shot clock down to 10. The Saints need to get going on offense. Burnett out to Miller. Shot clock down to 5. Harrison Miller gets inside with the left hand. No good. Rebound by Adita Agolu. Now Agolu thought about a deep 3. A good 6 feet behind the arc, but thought better of it. And they're going to get Colin Johnson for a foul.
Mari Robinson, the inbounder.
JT Harmon kicks it out for Agolu. He'll try a 3. No good. Rebound by Colin Johnson. And now that's going to be a foul against Ainsworth, as he impeded the path of Colin Johnson. Here's Miller. Second quarter winding down as Burnett tries another 3. Somehow didn't fall. Looked halfway down. Now Cosby will put one up. This one wide right.
Under a minute left to go in the second quarter. Saints down by 1.
Amir Savage now in the corner for Desmond Ainsworth. He'll drive on Cosby. Ainsworth back out to Amari Robinson. Shot no good. Johnson with the board. Up ahead for Miller. 2-on-2 fast break. Nice pass in for Gavin Johnson. He's whacked. And 2 very well-earned free throws upcoming.
Yep.
Not much of a question about that foul.
Yeah. Saints currently 0 for 8 from the line.
This will be their 10th free throws of the game. And with how this game's gone, only a 1-point gap between the teams right now. The free throw shooting could come back to bite the Saints as finally they hit one. They had missed their first 8, as you just mentioned.
Here comes Charlie Suskin in for Harrison Miller.
And Michael Farley Jr. comes on as well, as Burnett will sit. And Johnson 1 for 2 at the stripe. Amari Robinson back out for Desmond Ainsworth. Only about 3 seconds between shot and game clocks. So St. Michael's can hold for what would essentially be the final shot of the quarter in all likelihood. Shot clock down to 8. Ogolu. Amari Robinson has to get it up. He doesn't. Great defense by the Saints for 30 seconds. It's a shot clock violation.
Yo, and St. Michael's maybe also didn't hand that quite so well. I don't think they probably should have hurried up a little bit there, especially at the end where they're kind of holding it. But St. Someone did a good job to close off the lanes and make sure there wasn't anyone open there.
So they'll go adjust the clock. They'll give the Saints 3.2.
I imagine this will be a quick catch and shoot play.
Gray, the inbounder, gets it into Suskin. He can't control it. And now St. Michael's has a chance. Only 0.9 go off the clock. So now Michael Farley Jr. comes on, and they'll pull Darius Gray.
I believe Darius Gray has been in since the start of this game.
So 2.3 for St. Michael. Ainsworth from the other free throw line was not too far off, but in the end catches nothing. So we go to the half, 19-19. Very reminiscent of the football game these two teams played a couple weeks ago. Not a lot of scoring. So we'll be back in 10 minutes. And a good second half coming up for these two teams. Hello and welcome back. Second half just about ready to get underway. And something interesting I noticed at the break, St. Michael just came back up here a couple seconds ago. The Saints have been out here for a good 5 minutes shooting around. At half, Coach Jones stressed to the team, who went 1 for 10 at the free throw line in the first half, that they should keep going inside, keep looking for contact. And while 1 for 10 at the line isn't great, as once again the Saints have a 3 rim out, it looked like Stu Cosby was about to get the second half off on a hot start. And on the other end, Adita Agolu from downtown. But as I was saying, 1 for 10 at the line obviously isn't great, but getting 10 free throws in a half is a good sign. And if they shoot those 10 again, they're not going to miss 9 of them in the second half. But
yep, missing free throws like that, I mean, even if it's just early in the game, can really kill you in a tight race like this. This is the biggest lead any team's had in a while, 3 points.
And Burnett sends a Agolu flying by, and once again in and out. But there's Stu Cosby to clean it up.
Haven't seen a lot of games with this much shots get so close and just bounce out.
It's not a thing with a rim, as it's happened on both ends now for the Saints. As that shot no good, rebounded by Wally Jones. He looks to push the pace, kicks it over to Burnett. He'll try again, left it short. Gray flying in for the board, and it's going to be off of Darius Gray. The Saints defense not set, as Harmon wide open. Not sure if that was a 3 or if he had a foot on the line. It looks like they'll give him 3 points. Now Darius Gray goes to work on Agolu, gets inside, just bullying him down in the paint, lays it in.
If Darius Gray been real lethal inside the paint, and I mean, with that size, St. Michael just having a real hard time stopping him.
There's Harmon again, too strong. Rebound by Wally Jones. Cosby kicks it to Burnett, puts up a 3, blocked by Agolu. We saw Burnett earlier in this game have a pump fake that sent Agolu flying. Maybe could have gone for another one there.
EB really comfortable in that spot in the court.
Here's Jones up to Cosby, top of the key. Thought about a 3, now gets in for Darius Gray. But Agolu gonna foul him before Gray even gets a chance. Cosby gets it in for Brandon. Elijah Brandon driving, gets inside, has it knocked away. And on the other end, Amari Robinson has it stripped by Burnett. Never mind, it was a foul. Now Harmon left all alone. His second 3 of the half already.
St. Michael was trying to get real hot from behind that 3 line. Saints are going to have to make a big statement here, I think, with that much momentum.
And there's Gray. Gets whacked on the way up. Agolu whistled for another one. St. Michael's might have to try something else, as their current plan of leaving Gray single-teamed in the paint definitely not working.
No, definitely not.
I don't think it's going to work for 99.9% of players, as Darius just too big and strong for anyone to guard by themselves. And another miss at the line for the Saints. In a 5-point game, they've now missed 10 of their 11 free throws. And Gray misses both. The charity stripe struggles continue for St. Christopher's. Now Ainsworth pulls back. Three-pointer, no good. Like a couple of those shots we've seen from the Saints tonight, that one looked halfway down. Now here's Brandon. Elijah Brandon spinning. Nice pass to Darius Gray. Goes up, and he'll go to the line once again.
Some fancy moves there by E.B. Brandon. It's a great pass to Darius. Foul while he's going up, though, and at this point, fouling might be on purpose considering the free throw troubles from St. Chris.
And Darius hits that one. And Gray, 2 for 2 at the stripe.
That's what they'll have to do, get some points back. How much they've been fouled.
Maybe the tide's starting to turn for the Saints at the line this half, as they've started off 3 for 4 after an abysmal 1 for 10 in the first half.
Yeah, it's Wizards numbers.
And Wally Jones takes some contact. They're going to call it a block. The student section not in agreement. They wanted a charge.
Yeah.
Something you have to love about Wally Jones is he's always going to be willing to put his body on the line. There's never a time when he's going to shy away from potentially trying to draw a charge. And here's Ainsworth over for Amari Robinson. Robinson falling away over Jones, off the back iron, no good. Rebound Gray being grabbed at. And they managed to get it up to Colin Johnson, back to Stu Cosby. Thought about a three-pointer, has it stripped. Fight for the loose ball. Jones gets in there. And they're gonna get a foul on Wally.
Yeah, Wally really trying to get in there and dig for the ball. But they're going to give it to St. Michael's. They got some parents getting loud.
Yeah, those parents definitely not happy with how the game's been officiated. Here's Harmon. Saints have to be careful with him from behind the arc. This one just inside the arc. No good with the rebound. Taken by Ainsworth. And the third effort is going to end with free throws for the Warriors.
Saints just saw him get too many rebounds there. I mean, missed 2 shots, I believe, before the third one, which they got free throws on. Saints didn't get their hand on a single ball.
And the first free throw is good from Latif Jean-Philippe. And Jean-Philippe missed the second, but the rebound are temporarily taken by Amari Robinson, but then Stu Cosby does a good job to rip it away from him. Elijah Brandon in transition, kicks it over. Cosby for 3, no good. Saints just have not been able to get those shots to go down tonight. As now blocked by Cosby. Amir Savage tried to go inside, but Stuart Cosby said no. And now Wally Jones nearly throws it away. And the St. Michael's coaches are mad about the timeout being granted for some reason. So during the timeout, we will take a break. Saints down 4. So back out of the timeout, the Saints will control it. Here's Colin Johnson. Stuart Cosby over for Elijah Brandon. Cosby backing in on the wing. A bit loose with his dribble, now kicks it out. Colin Johnson puts up a 3. It's good. We saw him have one waved off due to an illegal screen off the ball earlier this game, but this one will count. Here's Amari Robinson with the lead back down to 1 for St. Michael. Amir Savage. Johnson brings the double. And now Savage will isolate at the top of the key with Cosby. Long 2, no good. Brandon gets whacked on the rebound. But I think they're going to say they got the ball. It'll stay with the Saints anyways.
This is Gavin Johnson, the inbounder. And it's tipped.
Now St. Michael putting some pressure on all the way up the floor now. Saints do a good job at breaking that, however. They're going to call a carry on Gavin Johnson.
Had a couple of those calls in this game.
Yeah, the refs definitely officiating the dribbling very tightly. As you mentioned, there's been a couple carries, a few double dribbles, and a few travels that usually they'd let the players get away with those minor infractions, but good on the officials for calling a tight ship. As now Desmond Ainsworth. And a deep 3 from Robinson over Burnett is good. As now Burnett, though, getting inside, falling away, flips it up and in. Quick counter from the Saints. Now Robinson inside, Harmon goes up over Colin Johnson, missed the shot. Second effort from Amir Savage is good.
Yep, St. Michael doing a pretty good job of getting their offensive rebounds, putting them back up for points. Got a couple of free throws on down their last possession.
Good save there from Burnett as Gavin Johnson gets inside, up and under. Missed the shot, though. And now Desmond Ainsworth puts up a 3. Long with the offensive rebound. And that one well short.
Barely hit the net on that one.
Yeah, Robinson maybe a bit overambitious from beyond the arc there. Now, nice ball move from the Saints. Elijah Brandon over to Harrison Miller. Right back to Brandon. Burnett thought about a three. Passes in for Darius Gray. Backing in, he's fouled.
Just before he could get the shot off. Went 2 for 2 on his last free throws. Other than that, it's been quite a struggle from the line for the Saints.
If I remember correctly, yes, I am correct. All 4 fouls by St. Michael this quarter have been against Darius Gray.
Yeah, he's very dangerous in the paint. Might feel compelled to foul him.
Now a jumper from Miller off. Gray tries to tip it out, but nice work from Latif Jean-Philippe.
Hurry up,
Savage, they're going to wave it off. Offensive foul. Brady Burnett stepped in, drew the contact. And the officials are going to get Savage for pushing off.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that call, but Wally Jones, the inbounder.
Here's Elijah Brandon over for Darius Gray in the corner. Saints need to give him some help. He'll just go to work. Now picks up his dribble. Out for Burnett. Gets around his man. Pulls up from the free throw line and sinks the jumper.
Very impressive there from Brady Burnett getting open at the line. And 8 seconds left.
Jaden Stewart puts up a long 2. Missed it. Rebound Gray. He'll hoist one from the logo. And no good. Looked like it was maybe on target for a second.
A little wide right, though.
We have a good finish coming up. 34-32. 8 minutes to go. Welcome back. We have a great finish in store for you here in Scott Gym. The Saints down 2. Their offense has started to wake up recently. After a first quarter, they only scored 5 points. As Savage throws up a wild shot. Good defense from Cosby to start out the quarter. Darius Gray got caught in the air there, but nice work from him to get out of that tough situation and get it to Stuart Cosby. Now Harrison Miller has it ripped away by Amari Robinson. Robinson goes inside, throws it up, no good. Rebound, it's gonna be off the foot of either Miller or Brandon, couldn't see who.
Either way, St. Michael is gonna be inbounding this one. It's Robinson. Very tight race here.
St. Michael's just barely gets it in time. Now Robinson spinning on Jones, throws it up, and one. Amari Robinson with a tough finish through contact. And Wally Jones will be whistled for his third. And Robinson completes the three-point play. Here's Burnett. And for Elijah Brandon. St. Michael getting a bit aggressive with these double teams now. Jones in the corner, over for Brandon. Well outside, sinks the three. Elijah Brandon with a great response. Lead back down to 2.
Showing off its range a little bit there. It's way beyond the 3.
That's a shot he definitely can make. We saw it last year. We've seen it so far this year. And now Latif Jean-Philippe, no good. Rebound Brandon. Maybe a bit overzealous with his dribbling at first, trying to push it down the court. Now slows things down. And Darius Gray was being fully hugged down in the paint by Jean-Philippe.
Yeah, really trying to defend him and lock him down there, prevent the ball from even getting to him. And Stuart Cosby, the inbounder for the Saints.
As now Isaiah Savage will check in for Amir Savage. Elijah Brandon tries a 3. No good. Would have given the Saints their first lead since 1918. Now Desmond Ainsworth. Back out for Amari Robinson. Spinning, gets a screen. Nice pass in. Jean-Philippe. And he'll go to the line. So 2 free throws now upcoming for Latif Jean-Philippe. And misses the first. The free throw misses have plagued both teams so far tonight. And Jean-Philippe 0 for 2 at the stripe. Gray over for Burnett, lets one fly. Left
Almost.
it short. It's Desmond Ainsworth. Gets a screen from Jean-Philippe. Back out to the top of the key. Amari Robinson. Good hedge from Gray. Stolen by Wally Jones. Goes up, lays it in. This game is tied. Wally Jones with the hustle defense.
Yeah, it's a huge play for the Saints to get their team going. Maybe start a hot streak here with some crowd noise on their side now.
Here's Ainsworth. Over for Amari Robinson. Ainsworth thought about a 3. Now Robinson drives on Jones. Knocked away by Burnett. Jaden Stewart, shot clock down to 6, off his foot. Ainsworth gonna have to hoist, puts it up, air ball. The Saints force a shot clock violation. Excuse me, they'll keep playing. Wally Jones on the other end, missed it. Rebound Cosby, back out. Brandon in the corner for Stu Cosby. No good. And a timeout taken by St. Michael. This game going down to the wire. 4:56 to go, 37-37. We'll be back. So out of the timeout, 4:56 to go. And Savage, the inbounder, just barely gets it in for Desmond Ainsworth. And they're going to get Elijah Branton on a foul. Third of the quarter for the Saints. Adita Ogolu over for Ainsworth. Guarded by Brandon. Savage in the corner, gets by Cosby. Fakes, flips up, no good, gets his own rebound, goes back up. This one is good. Now St. Michael has the lead. Wally Jones. Stuart Cosby in for Gray, and another foul. This one against Ainsworth. So the Saints will inbound. Burnett nearly throws it away. Brandon saves it. Somehow finds Darius Gray. Goes up, missed the shot. Nearly got his own rebound. And now St. Michael has a 3-on-1. Ainsworth goes up, lays it in. Here's Burnett. Saints need to slow things down. Burnett can't find anyone. Cosby rifles it to Brandon. His three, no good. Saints offense getting a bit chaotic, and they're paying the price as Isaiah Savage falling away, missed the shot. Rebound, Elijah Brandon. And for Darius Gray, he'll go to work, goes up, gets the roll. Darius Gray unguardable tonight as Coach Jones will take a timeout. 3:36 to go in the fourth. Saints trail 41-39. We are back out of the timeout. Saints trail by 2. Same 5 out there for both teams. Excuse me, no, not the same 5. Wally Jones comes out and Colin Johnson comes in. Saints maybe wanting to save Jones, who's in foul trouble. Amari Robinson over for Adita Ogolu. Savage on the wing, guarded by Cosby, thought about a 3, now drives, gets inside, blocked by Stuart Cosby.
I believe that's his 3rd of this game.
It's not something we saw from him very much last year. The main shot blocker was Brandon Jennings, but Cosby picking up where Jennings left off.
Yep, and when you lose a huge leader like that on your team, you always hope that someone can step up. Looks like Stuart Cosby's doing that, at least in blocking.
So the shot clock down to 8 for St. Michael. They'll get it in. Savage goes up and gets it to fall.
Another 4-point game here.
Brandon has it knocked away. Savage on the other end, lays it in. Lead up to 6. Burnett, now Darius Gray goes up, lays it in.
Some monster in the paint.
Bit of a dangerous pass there from Burnett, but it worked.
Yeah, I mean, when you got someone performing that well in a game, sometimes you can just trust them to, you know, give him an opportunity to make a play like that, and that's what Darius has been doing. That's what he just did.
JT Harmon gets inside. Shot, I believe it was tipped by Johnson, and Gray cannot save the loose ball.
Huge hustle to try and keep it in. Unfortunately, just not quick enough there. And Robinson going to be the inbounder.
And pass is knocked away by Brandon, but he's on the floor. Ainsworth, and they're going to call a foul. They're going to get it on Colin Johnson. So 2 free throws coming up for Ainsworth. So 2 big free throws upcoming for Desmond Ainsworth. Hits the first. And missed the second. So 1 for 2 at the stripe. The lead is 5. Darius Gray picks up his dribble, gets it over to Brady Burnett. Burnett driving, gets inside, missed it. But the offensive rebound by Darius Gray goes up. No good second effort, though. Or rebounded by Cosby. Burnett pulls up. No good. The 4th effort from Gray. A 5th effort. And the Saints clamoring for a foul. And they're going to call it against the Saints. And they're going to call a technical. Refs still conferring. So it's going to be free throws and the ball for St. Michael. Harmon hits the first. And hits the second. So 2 subs for the Saints as Wally Jones and Colin Johnson come on for Stuart Cosby and Darius Gray. St. Michael got to get it in. They just barely do, and they'll take a timeout as they were crowded. So Saints down 7. We'll be back after the timeout. back out of the timeout now. The Saints seeing this game slip away from them. It was tied at 39, but since then, a 9-2 run for St. Michael, and now Harmon throws it up, no good, rebound Johnson. Saints have a 2-on-1 break. Elijah Brandon slipped, goes up, missed it. And now here's Harmon all alone, lays it in.
This game's starting to slip away from the Saints as St. Michael's now with a 9-point lead, largest of the game.
Wally Jones back out, Colin Johnson, floater, no good. And the rebound by Ainsworth. A jump ball. And possession arrow with the Saints. As now Darius Gray and Stuart Cosby come in as both Johnsons will sit. Gray, the inbounder. Get it into Cosby, puts it up, no good. Gray, the rebound. He'll go up through a lot of contact and one. Darius Gray.
Gray just tons of rebounds in this last stretch of the game. Tons of points throughout the whole game.
Now this free throw could cut the lead down to 2 possessions. And Gray left it short. Cosby gets the rebound. Burnett puts up a 3. No good. Gray the rebound though. He'll go up again and lays it in. Lead down to 5 just like that, but now Harmon on the other end all alone. Goes up and lays it in. And the Saints transition defense lets them down, as a swing that looked like it got them back into the game is now taken away. Burnett goes up, gets his own miss, but can't finish. He wanted a foul. And now the Saints look like they'll have to begin the free throw game. And Harmon, not the person they want on the line.
Yeah, Harmon's been real accurate with his free throws.
And Harmon hits the first. And hits the second. So the lead back to 9. Elijah Brandon driving, gets inside, loses it, and stolen by Savage. And now St. Michael will take a timeout. 43.3 to go. Warriors lead by 9. Welcome back. Saints down 9. St. Michael has to get rid of it. Charlie Suskins. And he'll foul. Definitely no intent there. And the first free throw is good. And missed the second, but the rebound by Savage. And knocked away. Burnett controls it. Brady Burnett goes up and lays it in. Now a timeout taken by Coach Jones, and we'll be back. And that's going to be out of bounds, staying with the Saints. Now Darius Gray will come on, as well as Harrison Miller, as Wally Jones and Charlie Susskind will sit. Gray out to Miller. The Saints need to go quickly. And
that's not what they need.
Not at all. Savage on the other end goes up, and he'll go to the line. And the first free throw, no good.
Off the rim there.
And second is good, so the lead up to 9. And St. Michael will foul. Now here's Darius Gray. He'll walk into a 3. No good. Fight for the rebound taken by Colin Johnson. He'll hoist. No good, and that will do it. The Saints were very close, but unable to finish off the game. They'll fall 56-47 at Scott Gym. I'm Edison Columbia alongside Hill Butler for SDC TV. We thank you all for tuning in.